Hi, welcome to my channel, and today I'll be doing a special video. It's a 1-year review of my Big Boy SuperLight 200cc. I got this bike exactly a year ago, and I think I've got a good understanding of the bike now, now that I've had it for like a year. First off, I'll talk about the brakes. The bike has a disc brake at the front and a drum brake at the back, and this is all good and well when it's nice and warm, and but when you're starting out in the morning and it's very cold, the rear brake kind of gets, what can I say, squeaky. It's a bit of a slow start, so to speak, for the rear brake. But once it's heated up, then it's actually not a problem, but it's just that initial getting off when it's very cold, or when it's like raining and you've left the bike over for the night and it was raining. Yeah, it takes some time for the drum brake to heat up. I don't know if it's because the brake shoe is a bit of low quality, so maybe when it does the friction with the brake with the drum, it's a bit it still needs to warm up a bit. So that is the first issue I had with the bike. The second thing that I struggled with initially was the clutch. The clutch was a bit hard for me, maybe because this is my first manual bike. Before this I had a Motomir scooter / moped for people in the States that are watching, a moped which was automatic, and I could just, it was a throttle twist and go scooter with no manual system. So this took some adjusting to, and then whilst we're on this topic of changing gears, the other thing that was the problem was skipping from first gear into second gear whilst jumping neutral once you're moving. Maybe I got that wrong initially, but so first gear is the very bottom, at the very bottom, and then you go 1/2 click in your neutral, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. But the problem was for me is when I'm on the road, I go from 1, I click up a full click, but it doesn't go into gear 2, and then just goes into neutral. Then now I'm revving very hard, and it's like cars behind me and stuff like that. But I've sort of got the hang of it now, so I think it was my error to begin with, but it wasn't very intuitive as to how to just go into second gear. The bike can rev up to 12,000 RPM, but for the most part I've noticed I change gears at about 6,000 RPM. If you can see by the gauge there, where the thingy is kind of like scratched, is because I roughly change gears there, and I've only got like about 2,500 kilometers on. Fuel economy is very good. I usually put 100 Rand in here. For the people viewing from the States, that should be like $7, $6. Yeah, 100 Rand and the tank fills up, and that lasts me, because I usually only ride the bike usually on weekends because I work from home. So like 2 full weekends of me just driving around on 100 Rand is not bad at all, because that's what I want from this bike. Good fuel economy. It also has where you can put the reservoir tank, or to make it like, yes, go into reservoir tank and not to use the main tank. You can click there if you're really running low on fuel. And the other problem I also had in the beginning, now that I think of it, is that I don't know, maybe when they set up my bike, they didn't really get the idle right, so I had to change the idle myself. But it's not a hard thing to do. All you just come and do is change, I think it's a screw, this little screw right there, twist it a little bit more inside, and that would make the bike idle a bit faster, and that stops it from stalling when you're at the robots or something like that. What else? The bike has 5 gears, as I said, and the 5 gears, you can easily get to gear 5 without actually putting much effort. Like it shifts pretty well, and it doesn't take too much time. I think I get to gear 5 by like 80 kilometers an hour. I'm already in 5th gear, and it still has enough punch to keep going even uphill at that point. I don't really have to shift down. It has enough power to go uphill, depending on the hill, that is. You know, you can't go on a very steep 45-degree angle hill and think it'll do it in gear 5 on a 200cc. No, it's not going to do it. So it is a good bike, especially if you're starting out. I bought this bike actually for 17,000 last year. I think it's gone out now. 17,000 rand, by the way. That's about 900 to 1,000 US dollars. Yeah, so yeah, that's about an iPhone. So yes, so I bought this bike last year for 17,000 rand, and where was I going with this? So with the speed as well, actually, let me go back to the speed. I think 200cc is enough for someone who's starting out on manual bikes, because you get enough oomph or power to not be, you know the problem with riding bikes, especially in Joburg, you get those tailgaters. You get drivers driving too close to you and trying to force you to do and, like, get into an error or something like that. Whereas with this, you got enough power to at least put some distance between you and those kinds of drivers, but at the same time not too much power to go wild. Because the thing is, you don't want to be going at, like, I don't know, 150 140 on our streets here, because they're not really even sometimes. And so if you hit an uneven patch, or even if you're unlucky, if you hit a pothole whilst going at that speed, it's not going to be nice, trust me. So this bike can easily get up to like 120. I've pushed it to 120 actually. It can get easily to 100, but thereafter it starts getting a little bit, you can tell, especially if the conditions are against you, like heavy wind, like a head-on wind coming to you. It's kind of hard to get it to those speeds. So I would not recommend this for the highway. I don't think it's very good to use this bike on the highway. You will be at a very big disadvantage, and you put yourself in danger, because you would have cars that are moving much faster, and at that speed there's a lot of wind. The bike is not as stable in those conditions. I've taken it on the highway, and yeah, I was pretty lucky that there weren't any other cars, but I could tell that I'm pushing it to the max here, and it's just now getting to that point where I need to chill. So I would recommend this mostly for, like, let's say students, or someone who's going to work and doesn't want to use a car. That was actually the intention of me getting this bike in the first place, because I didn't want to deal with traffic, and I was like, hey, I don't want a scooter anymore. I want an actual bike, but I don't want to deal with traffic. So what do I get? So this was the Goldilocks. The Goldilocks, kind of like in the middle, like, not too much power, but enough power for me to at least have some fun and be able to move nicely, and be able to actually do my my weekend runs or go to work or whatever. So it is a very good bike. Like I said, I think maximum weight is about 150. So you and a buddy can actually ride on this bike, and there won't be any problems. What else? The other thing also is that Big Boy, I got a Big Boy 4-ways. Big Boy also does good servicing, and you can actually call them up and say, hey, this is what's happening, and this, and they can come and pick your bike or whatever. So you've got quite good support, which was the biggest problem I had with Motormeer, because Motormeer went out of business in 2015, and to try and service my old scooter was a nightmare, because no one wanted to touch Motormeer. They didn't have parts for it. Whereas for now, Big Boy is still here in SA, and they are servicing the bikes. So my first service actually wasn't too expensive. It was like about 800 bucks, if I'm not mistaken, 700 rand, and it was just a normal breaking in service. I expect a normal full service to be like 2,000 rand. if everything is fine without any replacements. So yeah, so this is a Big Boy SuperLight 200cc, and I hope you liked my review for it. And yeah, next videos I will be saying when, like maybe in the next 6 months from now, do another 1.5 year review of the bike to see how much wear and tear and all that stuff, how it goes about. But besides this, the brake situation, the drum brake situation, I wish they had a disc brake, but I'm guessing that would be more expensive. That's the only problem I have with the bike, the fact that in the cold weather, so winter or it's raining, your drum brake is going to be a bit squeaky in the morning when you put the brakes on, but once the shoes actually heated up, then it's fine, then you've got proper braking. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoy the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Cheers. GoPro, stop recording.